Here's an idea from the art room to make your very own hanging lantern for the parade. You'll need about 50 straws, some PVA glue and some water to dilute it with. You'll need a sponge and a container to put the PVA glue in, some masking tape, some pipe cleaners, about 30 of those should be enough, a black bin liner, some scissors and a string of LED lights, battery operated, and then some assorted tissue paper. I'm going to use pink as my main colour here. You could use anything you like. First thing you need to do is prepare the pipe cleaners. You need to cut them into lengths about that sort of length, and you'll need a lot of these. Cut all 30 of your pipe cleaners up into these little pieces, and then so that you can get all of it done ready for the sticking together, put a little fold in them in half like that, so they're like a little right angle. I put the PVA in a little container there to help me, and now we're going to construct the star shape. Put glue on the end of each of the pipe cleaner pieces and then insert them down the tube of the straw like that to make it work. And then what you need to do is get another bit of the pipe cleaner and insert it in there alongside the pipe cleaner that's already there, and then another straw there, and we're attaching 4 of these together at the end here. So glue on the pipe cleaner, insert it down the tube. It works best if you put the first one down the same tube, and there is the 4th one. So you're making like a sort of pyramid shape with the 4. Put that one to side to dry. It works better if it's a little bit drier for the next stage. And you need to make 6 of these. So here we go. I've sped the tape up so that you can see the process. And there we go, there's 3. And now we've got 6 of these pyramid shapes. What we need to do now is attach the bottom part of the pyramid, and we need to make sure that we get the right size straw. So whatever length your straw is, take about 1/3 of that off, leaving 2/3, and with a pair of scissors just cut there. That's about the right sort of length. It doesn't matter if it's not exactly the same as I've done here, but what you must make sure is that all the straws that you cut from now onwards are the same size. So use the first one as your template for the other ones, and you'll need to cut those so that they're all the same length. You'll need 24 of those, and we're sticking them together using the same idea with pipe cleaners, a bit of glue on each end. Slide that into the bottom part of the straws from the pyramidal shapes, and then just work your way round and just put a bit in there, and you're slowly building that together, making a 4-sided pyramid. There we go. And we need to do that with all 6 of them. Then leave them in a warm place to dry. Here we are, we've got the finished ones. We now need to stick these together to make the star shape. I'm going to use masking tape here, and to make life easier I've just got a few pieces ready so that I don't have to keep playing with the roll. I've got them there ready for me to use. Choose any of the 2 pyramid shapes, and you're going to stick those sides together like that. And if you use 2 pieces of masking tape, one at each end, those will join together quite nicely. That's joined together nicely there, and now I'm going to stick this one on the side here. Again, 2 pieces of masking tape, one at each end. And then you just need to work your way round the star shape, sticking these together, 2 pieces of tape for each join. It's a little fiddly, but well worth taking your time to make sure that you have a perfect star shape. And here we are. This is what the star shape should look like. There we are, a different view of it. And now we're ready to start papering it. Now, before we start using the glue, we need to prepare the surface that we're going to be doing on the gluing. And what I suggest is you get a bin liner and then use some masking tape and stretch it out nice and firmly like this. It stops the paper sticking to the table. Also, it helps it when you're trying to peel it up. There we are. I've got some PVA glue and I've diluted it down with some water, about 1:1 ratio. And we'll need the sponge to help do the sticking bit. The first thing you need to do is all over the surface of the bin liner that you've stuck down. That's why we need to stick it down nice and firmly so it doesn't come off when we're doing this. You cover the whole surface with a thin layer of glue, nice and even, no gloopy bits. Then we get a sheet of tissue paper. I would cut it up to about A4 size to make it more useful and easier to manage. And then we cover the whole of the surface with PVA glue like that. Again, you don't want it dripping wet. And then put a second layer of tissue paper. This is really important because it makes it tough enough to withstand the rigors of being a lantern. And you cover it all like that with PVA. Good tip is to go sort of from the middle outwards, and you're trying to saturate but not dripping wet. Then if you peel from the corners upwards like this, you can lift it up and place it over your star. It's very fiddly, it's very delicate, and the secret is to take your time and not to rush things, because it was so easy to puncture the paper and tear it as you're lifting it and putting it onto the star. And you can see here I'm tucking round the excess paper to make it fit that part of the point, wrapping it very closely, tucking it in there and making sure that it fits the shape. Again, take your time, there's no rush on this one. You'll only get frustrated and get annoyed that it's not working. And then after you've done your first sheet, which is always the most difficult, you need to do the second one and the third and so on and so forth. So PVA up the bin liner first and place that on, and then you put PVA onto the tissue paper again all over. You don't want any dry bits, you don't want any big gloops of glue, and then you put your second sheet on top like that, and then again more PVA glue there. You don't want it too wet, no big white gloops anywhere, just a thin layer all over. A little tip to help you get it off the surface of the bin liner: if you sort of pick at the corners like that until you've got a little gloop, then gently peel up from there. Remember, take your time. If you try and rush this, it just won't work. Slowly and surely. Now I've sped the tape up here so you can see me completing the star. Almost there, just the last few bits, and I'm overlapping the tissue paper quite a lot now, and that will give extra strength to what I'm doing. Now you can decorate the star in any way you like with other bits of tissue paper. I've got some circles here I've cut out. I got a wodge of tissue paper and cut multiple circles at the same time. And I'm sticking them on in the same way, putting glue down first on the paper, gluing the other side, and then peeling them off and sticking them on. Really essential not just to stick them on. Here you are. This gives you an idea of the finished star. Now leave that to dry, bone dry, overnight in a warm place, if not longer. Because the next stage we need to do is to fit the lights in. With a pair of scissors, just cut yourself a little slit at the top, a sort of entrance hole. And into that entrance hole, what we need to do is feed in the LED lights on a string, starting at the end like this, and just very gently feeding them in. And when I've finished feeding it in, I'm going to wrap a pipe cleaner round the top part of the star, and this is going to be helping me hang it on a garden cane, which will give it that lantern feel. And then here we go with some masking tape. I'm attaching the power pack to the top here. It doesn't matter if it's not too pretty, because during the night time when it's all dark it won't be seen. And there we go, I'm wrapping the pipe cleaner round the top of the garden cane and using the masking tape to hold it on, and that will support it. Here we go, finished lantern, all ready for you to take on the lantern parade for the Winter Wonderland.